Hello, my Capricorn friends. I'm Ulrich. I'm a normal card reader, but today we will do your financial philosophical card reading for the month of July. These more cards are more like a kind of advisors. If you are about to expect financial benefits for yourself, or maybe you're in a financial difficulties, it's all in these cards. We will see where it leads for your sign. So, my Capricorn friends, here we go for your financial card reading for the month of July. Hello, my Capricorn friends, and welcome to your financial card reading. As your first card here, we see the card of evolution. What does this card tell us? Well, it tells us that the times have changed. If we think about back of the 2018 and we compare where we are now, we know that the world has turned upside down financially. Restrictedly, a lot of things have changed in our life, not always for the better for many people, not for the better. Also, in the general card readings, I see that things are not yet stable. More changes are to come in our life, especially on the financial front. There will become changes on the financial front. Maybe we go more in digital currencies and things like that. And it might not always be for the better here, because this is all about we're getting in more restrictive areas, government controlled areas. So be aware of your freedoms, whatever you may be, because a lot of your freedoms might be compromised in the years to come. Of course, we need to let our voice hear if we disagree with these conditions. So coming back here to the evolution, it's also, of course, a part of life, but we need to, of course, bend it in a positive way here. Several years that follow up are very different with each other. For now, also, we have different kind of expenses. Internet is become a part of our budget. We pay for it. Sometimes we pay for certain services that 20 years ago didn't exist yet. So here we need to make an assessment of our expenses and what is really necessary in life. As you see here in general, we can see that our expenses are increasing. So we can cut certain things off in our life that are no longer necessary or important here. For instance, if you have a landline at home, you no longer use your landline, you might consider canceling your landline. If you watch no longer on your broadcasts on your TV, on your regular cable channels, what is the purpose of your cable? You could consider cutting the cable here at your home. This is what we are seeing here. Maybe you catch yourself always watching programs on the internet and you no longer watch on your regular subscripted cable channel, so you could consider eliminating this. Anyway, here we see also that, for instance, if we have a newspaper or a magazine, we could consider taking the instead of the paper version, the online version, because maybe it reduces some of your expenses here, because mostly the online version is more cheaper than the paper version. Of course, it's up to you if you go in those things, because some of us still prefer the old-fashioned way, the paper version, but it could be a guidance here for going in that way. Anyway, we are asked here in general to review our monthly payments. Also for banking, check if you cannot save on your banking expenses. Sometimes also we need to review our banks, if our bank is really the cheapest bank, if they offer us the real service for what they charge us. Sometimes for some people in this group also, I know it's not for everybody, but they might consider going 100% internet banking. Why? Well, internet banks are cheap. You need to be aware also that internet banks control you. They control your life. They know everything about you. So that is the other side. Be aware of that. If you go for internet banking, it's cheap, but they also control. So be aware here, but if you see it on the front of expenses, they are more cheaper. Why? Because they have no fixed locations, they have no staff, so it's very cheap. Mostly the only thing that you pay with these internet banks is your plastic. For the rest, mostly if we make withdrawals, these withdrawals are very cheap. If we make payments, these payments are for free. So you should consider this here if you cannot make some savings in that area. Also, sometimes it's about insurances. You need to check if you cannot make make some changes in your insurances if everything is up to date, if you cannot make some changes in your insurances also, because this is the card of evolution, changes here. So adjust your spendings on the current time. That is the general message of this card. The next card is repayment of debts. As we are in a time of recession, some people who might have some savings might consider repayment of their debts. Why? Well, if we are in an inflation period, it's wise to pay back what we owe. Why? Because our money gets less value. This is what we are seeing here in current times. Here, if you have accumulated certain debts, we need to handle those debts also. We need to implement a strategy. So mostly Capricorn, they are very good in working out plans, in making strategies, because that is directly connected to the sign of Capricorn. They are very good planners. They know things in the long run. They are very structural. So this is actually a good card for you, but you need to start it. So here we see here also, we need to double check the rates. If you have credit cards and you have more than one, you probably have a credit card that always gives you money, no matter in what condition. And this is probably the shark in your wallet. You need to double check online what are the rates that this card charges you. And probably this is the one that unbalances your budget. If you have such a card, try to balance it out, put some liquid money on there and get rid of the card, because this is not budgetary friendly for you. We need to get rid of such cards. I know it's easy. I know it can help you, but it also has a very severe impact on your budget. That's why this card is here. So here we see that we need to administer money for getting rid of those cards. Here, what we see here also, if you have different, several credit cards, try to get rid of your debts once all year. Reduce your debts and you will be able to less restricting your lifestyle. This is also the card of not making luxurious purchases. Don't buy anything that you need, because as we know, life is more expensive, food is more expensive, all our things are getting more expensive. Many of these things are made artificially expensive with so-called wars, so-called viruses, so-called inflation. There's a lot going on here. So reduce yourself here. Don't wait any longer. Balance yourself out and bring yourself in a safe position, and distance yourself also from governments and things like that, because what we see is not actually maybe what is going on. Maybe there's a bigger plan here. This is what we are seeing here. Then the last card is that we need to rely on ourselves. That this is actually exactly where I wanted to come with this card. The times have been changed. As you see here, this is the reading of changes for Capricorn. And what we are seeing here, we cannot rely on the future. We cannot rely on our parents. We cannot rely on our relatives. We cannot rely on anybody. We will be put back to ourselves. If you rely on your pension, for instance, for your old age, you could encounter a very big disappointment, because in the future, it will be questionable if the countries, because many countries have come in debt due to the viruses, due to all kinds of circumstances, many countries have built up a large debt. Of course, this debt needs to be repaid. How are they going to repay this debt? And who's going to repay this debt? Well, you look in the mirror and you see the answer. So mostly the people pay back these debts. So that means it will have an impact on your pension in the future. It might not be so safe as you think it is. So prepare yourself if the times go bad. Maybe you're expecting things that will not be coming, or that will be much less than you expect them to be. So don't let yourself be fooled. Be aware that this is a utopian and dystopian technocratic society that we are evolving in. I don't want to be here the negative here, but I'm also realistic. Look around you, look what is going on, look at the changes here with that is going on. Anyway, if you're expecting certain inheritances here in the future and you rely on that, also be aware it might not be what you expect from it. This is the card that we need to be realistic. We need to be Saturnal, which is your master, your lord from Capricorn. We need to be realistic. We need to get back in touch here. For instance, if your parents are still fit, they might consider selling their home and go to a retirement home. So it means if this house is sold, your inheritance will be less. We need to rely again here on ourselves. And also your parents will live much longer than their ancestors if they are in good health, if they are in perfect health conditions, if they are not influenced from factors outside that for instance, negative medication that they have taken or something. If they are in good health, they will live much longer than their relatives. They will get 70, 80 years old. It's very common now, and it means also they need their monies for this survival, for their conditions here, and we cannot blame them because they work for this money. Also, then we need to add the human touch here, the feelings. Sometimes also our parents, even if they are in matured age already or older age, they can still get in contact with somebody else, and we never know here. They succumb to some new partner they meet next door in the retirement home. They want to start a second life. We never know, or somebody they meet on the internet. We need to incalculate all these things with this card. Anyway, be aware here that you need to plan your old days independently, because this is the card of independence. So don't rely on others, don't rely on nothing. If you rely on yourself, you make your own future. Also, don't make illusions. If you rely on yourself, you have won the situation. You are smarter than the things that are happening around us. This is what we are seeing here. So anyway, my Capricorn friends, thank you for watching this video. If you want more details about your life, you can also see the classic Lenormand card readings that you can find on my channel. These are very much in details. They take much more time, but of course you have a lot of more information. And of course we have the spiritual card readings. They are more like an advisors, how to act and react in more the spiritual sense of your life. If there are certain things that are in your mind that you want to work out about life, you can find an answer maybe there. Anyway, my Capricorn friends, thank you for watching. Thank you for considering subscribing, and we see each other next time. Bye bye.